Right now, a group of Republican lawmakers looks to close what they call a THC loophole. We'll tell you what the proposed legislation looks like.
And we continue to track that chance for an isolated severe thunderstorm through the early overnight hours. We'll take a look at Radar 3000 and Future Track in the full forecast.
And later, the Trump administration blames a popular over-the-counter medication for autism. And we welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Thanks so much, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Sarah Carlson. Eric Franke is off. A group of Republican lawmakers are looking to weed out what they call a THC loophole. This after 85 people ate contaminated pizza in Stoughton last year. Our Ellie LaLiberte read over the proposed legislation. Ellie, what does it look to do?
Well, Sarah, this bill would essentially redefine what is legal hemp, a plant that's in the same family as marijuana. Now, hemp-derived products can have psychoactive effects, and this legislation argues that the loophole that allows those products to go to market should be closed.
We're focused on very high quality, very clean, fully tested products.
Just steps away from the Capitol, Rick Bartels is prepping his new dispensary, Madison Extracts, for opening day. But in that building is a proposed bill that he says could send his industry up in smoke.
It's going to put legitimate businesses out of order.
So what this proposed legislation does is it closes the loophole that was created on the state side as part of the 2017 Wisconsin Act 100.
Representative Lindy Brill is the bill's lead author. She's trying to redefine hemp.
It'll still allow for the fiber and textile and paper part of the hemp. The original intent of the bill would still allow for the legalization of that.
If passed, Brill says the legislation could weed out hemp-based products from the market. Things like gummies, vapes, and drinks that can get the consumer high. Right now, Bartels says the only regulation he has to operate under is from the USDA.
We're surrounded by states that regulate all of these products, and we're just dragging our feet and falling behind.
He says that can lead to sketchy products on the market.
I really want regulation. I don't want outright banning. Banning THCA outright isn't going to solve this problem. It's going to just force another black market surge.
But Representative Brill argues it's an industry that shouldn't have necessarily taken root in the first place.
This market was created because of a loophole, and that was a chance that businesses took when they opened their business.
It would completely handicap an industry that is generating incomes, jobs, rental spaces. It's foolish.
Now, this legislation is still in the very beginning stages. Right now, it's just circulating for co-sponsorship.
Okay, thank you so much, Ellie LaLiberte. Now, we're tracking some rain chances as we start the week. Meteorologist Blaze Keller has the very latest.
That's right. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning as well as those rain chances continuing for now Iowa County. The flashing area is that new severe thunderstorm warning until 7 p.m. It is mainly warned for strong winds as well as that large hail, but also it is noting a little bit of rotation. So folks in the path of this storm, be prepared to seek shelter, if a tornado warning is issued. We're going to take it from one end of the storm and take it to as far out southeast as we can, as this is pushing off towards the southeast at about 25 miles per hour. We are looking at Cobb at 6:09, Dodgeville by 6:20, Linden by 6:23, Mineral Point by 6:40, and then into Perry by 6:58, and then Blanchardville by 7:09. And again, this severe thunderstorm warning will be allowed to expire at 7 o'clock. Because this does have a tornado warn possible tag with it, we'll switch over to Wind Tracker and see where that rotation is. Starting to see some increase rotation, I would say, right over Montfort, right along Highway 18, south of Castle Rock, between Montfort as well as Castle Rock. Highland and Cobb, this is just to our west. I don't necessarily like what I'm seeing. The bright reds as well as that little bit of green is indicative or telling me that this is trying to rotate. But again, we do not have a tornado warning issued right now. This is just south of Wingville, right along County Road G, as well as beginning to move into Montfort. So folks, if you are in the path of this rotation, if you are in this severe thunderstorm warning, be prepared to seek shelter if a tornado warning is is issued. But right now, it is just a severe thunderstorm warning. I'll turn off lightning and take you guys into where that rotation is. This is that little hook echo that Alex and I, Jacob and Savannah and other meteorologists have talked about, where this is likely where that storm is trying to rotate. The inflow of that fresh air is moving just over Montfort and allowing this to rotate. Again, nothing from the National Weather Service indicating anything is on the ground, no rotating wall cloud or funnel like that, but stay with us. We'll, of course, keep you updated. In the meantime, we do continue to see that severe weather chance for most of our coverage area through the early overnight hours. There was a look at that isolated tornado threat, but as I mentioned on Facebook when this first came out, folks even outside the green, please make sure that you have a safety plan as well as a way to receive severe weather alerts. Sarah, I'll send it back to you for now. We're going to continue to monitor things behind the scene, and in the full forecast, we'll take a look at what tonight has in store for us as well as the rest of the week.
All right. Thank you, Blaze, for keeping us posted. A man is tentatively charged after a fight on a Madison Metro bus yesterday afternoon. Police responded to the incident at South Patterson Street and East Washington Avenue. There, they learned that a man had been threatening a woman on the bus. Another passenger intervened, leading to a physical altercation where the man hit the intervening passenger. The 57-year-old suspect is tentatively charged with disorderly conduct, felony bail jumping, resisting arrest, and misdemeanor bail jumping. Madison police are investigating a robbery that happened over the weekend. They responded to a business on East Springs Drive Saturday night. An employee says that 3 men arrived at the store, one carrying a metal pipe. One man stole a customer's cell phone and wallet while 2 others pushed an employee and took money from the register. The suspects left the scene before police arrived. Over in Grant County, a Horicon man is dead after crashing his motorcycle in the town of Potosi over the weekend. This happened on County Highway U Saturday morning when Ronald Walsh veered off the road and crashed into a ditch. Walsh, who was not wearing a helmet, died at the scene. Investigators are still trying to figure out why he left the road, but they mentioned that weather conditions were rainy with fog. In an announcement today, President Donald Trump says the FDA will be notifying physicians that taking acetaminophen or Tylenol during pregnancy is associated with an increased risk of autism. He did not bring scientific evidence with him to back claim medical experts say is unproven. And autism experts and loved ones with those with autism tell our Arman Rahman that this is harmful to the community.
There are reports that federal health officials plan to tie the use of the active ingredient in Tylenol, acetaminophen, during pregnancy to autism.
Acetaminophen, is that okay? During pregnancy can be associated with a very increased risk of autism.
The president did not bring any scientific evidence to his announcement. For Jenny Price,
it feels sad.
Price's teenage son was diagnosed with autism 13 years ago.
And at that time, things were still kind of framed a little bit like, here are all the things your child won't be able to do.
Now she and others in the community share the same concern that this language,
don't take Tylenol,
is that somehow we'll go back.
That was a step back.
Megan Houghton is the education and training specialist for the Autism Society of South Central Wisconsin.
We've heard it's been Tylenol that causes it, and yet there's been decades of scientific research that just shows that's not true. And to imply, once again, kind of putting this guilt on the mom as well. You know, like, well, mom took Tylenol and now this has happened to her children.
Both mothers and advocates say the focus should be placed on accommodating rather than accosting in hopes of finding a cure for something that is mostly genetic.
We're creating classrooms, we're creating workplaces, we're creating communities that are accessible and accommodating. Autism is a part of neurodiversity that just deserves to be celebrated.
I think we just want them to actually pay attention to what people are asking for, what would make people's lives better day to day, because this isn't it.
Reporting in Madison, Arman Rahman, News 3 Now.
Arman, thank you. Now, Kenvue, the makers of Tylenol, issued a statement saying, quote, taking acetaminophen does not cause autism. We strongly disagree with any suggestion otherwise and are deeply concerned with the health risks this poses for for expecting mothers. Well, construction on a homeless shelter on Madison's east side is expected to be done in early 2026. Today, the mayor said the shelter, however, still needs millions to fully function. Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway toured the nearly completed facility today, and she addressed the shelter's potential as well as the hope that it will become the very first 24/7, 365 days a year homeless facility in Madison.
We must unlock that potential. That means coming up with more than $4 million that it will take to operate this shelter 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
The mayor emphasized that private sectors join her in helping provide to community members in need. Coming up next, fall is officially here, and despite the temps, winter will be here before we know it. We'll have an update on our Coats for Kids campaign, plus why the Federal Trade Commission is taking Amazon to court. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Well, it was another big weekend for the Coats for Kids campaign. So far, we've collected 1,490 winter coats. How about it? And we want to keep that momentum going and thank everyone for your donations. Now, we're looking for all kinds of winter coats, jackets, accessories, especially infants, toddlers, and larger teenage sizes. You can make donations at any Madison area Clinky Cleaners from now until October 4th. If you're looking for other ways to help out as well, you can head to channel3000.com/Coats for Kids, and that's Coats with a K, to learn how and other ways you can donate. Well, the Federal Trade Commission's long-awaited trial against Amazon gets underway this week. The FTC filed this lawsuit back in 2023 under the Biden administration. It accuses the e-commerce giant of tricking millions of customers into signing up for the Prime membership program, but then making it harder for them to cancel their subscription. Opening statements are set to begin tomorrow, and the trial is expected to last about a month. A senior White House official says Oracle will control TikTok's algorithm for U.S. users after the sale is completed. If completed, the deal will transfer control of TikTok's U.S. operations to a new joint venture based in the U.S. The investors will include Oracle and the private equity firm Silver Lake. Over the weekend, President Trump said Michael Dell, as well as Rupert and Lachlan Murdoch, may also be part of the new ownership group. TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, will retain a less than 20% stake in TikTok US following this deal. Well, still ahead, we'll introduce you to the 3 finalists in the Chocolate Shop's Create a Flavor contest. Plus, one of the most popular musicals is returning to Madison next year, when you can get your hands on some tickets. And also, how much rain will we see this weekend and any possible severe weather on the way? Blaze is back with our complete forecast.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Well, the True North Music and Food Festival is coming to the Duck Pond later this month. Next Saturday, September 27th, the festival features some of Madison's best chefs and emerging regional music. Madison Magazine is a proud sponsor of this event. You can get tickets at truenorthfest.com, and they start at $15. Also, $2 from each ticket sold will be benefiting domestic abuse intervention services as well as the Dane County Food Collective. And the musical Hamilton is coming to the Overture Center next year, and you will soon be able to get your hands on the tickets. Shows are set to take place from January 6th through the 18th. Now, there will be an 8-ticket limit per account, and tickets begin at $48.90 with a select number of premium seats available from $302 for all performances. A lottery for 40 $10 tickets will also be held for all performances, with details announced closer to the engagement. People can purchase these tickets starting this Thursday at 11 a.m. at the Overture Center's website, in person at the ticket office, or by calling 608-258-4141. So how is the beginning of the fall season looking weather-wise? Well, checking back in with Blaze for the complete forecast, and it's been a busy day.
It has been. We've had a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings already for parts of Crawford and Vernon County, and now we see another severe thunderstorm warning, 2 of them for mainly Iowa County. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning that most of the worst of this storm has actually pushed off to our east, and that would be for more of northeastern Grant County. Grant County, still know that you're underneath that severe thunderstorm warning until 6:45, so about a little under 30 minutes. But the worst of this storm has crossed the county line and is beginning to move into Linden, just to the west of Dodgeville, as well as Mineral Point, beginning to exit Montfort, where at one point we did have more of that tighter rotation. So this is our early severe thunderstorm warning. This goes until 7 p.m. This storm is pushing off towards the southeast at about 20 miles per hour. It's slowed down just a little bit, and we'll put a tracker on this with the adjusted speed of the storm for folks in the path of this, because the National Weather Service, and we'll take a look at the storm tracker too, the wind tracker aspect of it. There's still some broad rotation with this storm, so a tornado possible tag is still with this severe thunderstorm warning. Into Linden by 6:21, Rui 6:28, into Mineral Point by 6:41, Waldwick by 7:01, and then Willow Springs by 7:11, into Darlington by 7:28. And again, this severe thunderstorm warning is going to be allowed to expire, at least for now, at 7 o'clock. We do see a little bit of a hook echo outside of Linden. This is that classic signature that we've talked about, very indicative of at least somewhat of a supercell thunderstorm. This is where all that fresh air is being fed into the rotating mesocyclone, or where that tornado is likely trying to form, or where that rotation is. Again, this is not tornado warned, but they have kept that tornado possible tag with this storm, as we are still noting some broad rotation. We are seeing those greens mixing in with the reds, but it's very broad. It's not very organized or very tight, as opposed to a few scans ago as it was passing through Montfort. This is a much more signature for maybe more of that tighter rotation, maybe a funnel cloud or a tornado, and now we're starting to see that lessen. Still remain in your safe space. If you move down there and folks in the path of the storm, still continue to be aware that you may have to move into your safe space should a tornado warning be issued. But this is going to be moving over 151. I would say the worst of it is probably going to stay south of Dodgeville and pass over Mineral Point. Back into Prairie du Chien, we also have a little bit of non-thunderstorm activity, and then we'll take it just north of DeForest in Columbia County, stretching from Fountain Prairie into Rio, into Portage. That's where we also have a little bit of some rain activity. Now we'll continue to track these showers and thunderstorms through the rest of this evening and into the early overnight hours. So I would say through at least 10 o'clock tonight, we will still have that chance for an isolated severe thunderstorm. Again, strong winds and hail are going to be our greatest threats, along with heavy rain. But as we've seen, these storms are showing a little bit of light rotation, so we could also see that weak spin up or a weak, hopefully short-lived tornado. Of course, we will push any and all updates to you as we go throughout the rest of this evening. Showers mainly Wednesday and Thursday. I don't foresee any severe weather threats, or maybe even a thunderstorm threat Wednesday and Thursday. We dry out and warm up back into the upper 70s to low 80s for the first weekend of fall.
The first week of fall, it's always beautiful.
It's crazy that it's already here.
It always happens, I know. So
soon I'll have to be tracking out snow.
I know, it's going to happen.
It is going to happen.
But before that, with all
Yes.
this sunny weather, it makes you want some chocolate.
Oh,
So,
yes.
Check this out. After receiving tons of flavor ideas, Chocolate Shop revealing the 3 finalists for this year's Create a Flavor contest. Now, first up is Belgium Daydream, all right? It's vanilla ice cream with a maple swirl and waffle pieces. I like that one. Flavor 2 is Strawberry Cake Pops, strawberry ice cream with vanilla cake pieces and sprinkles with a frosting swirl. Finally, the third one is Badger Brownie Bite, vanilla ice cream, caramel, and marshmallow swirl topped with brownie pieces and chocolate-covered pecans. You can now vote for your favorite at chocolateshopicecream.com between now and October 2nd. The winning one will be announced the 8th. It'll debut next year. I go with the first one.
Ooh, I'm going to have to go with the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really good right now. I mean, they all sound incredibly good.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to have to lean towards the strawberry one.
We'll go for it next year.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back with sports.
Welcome back to Jay's Bar here in Madison for week 3 of the Wisconsin Huddle. We have a live taping coming up in about 30 minutes where I will be joined by Wisconsin football safety Austin Brown, and we'll get to know Austin off the field. Back on the field, it was a tough weekend for football in the state of Wisconsin. Of course, the Packers lost in devastating fashion, and the Badgers were outstaged by Maryland in their Big Ten opener, losing 27-10. Luke Fickell knows fans are mad and feels their emotion.
I feel what their pain is, but there's nothing that we can do other than keep grinding, keep working. We have to play better. So, I don't get upset. I don't, lose my mind because of what the way they feel. They're passionate about what they do and what they want to see, and that's what you love about this place. And that's what that's what you signed up for when you came here. Knowing that this place is passionate about it, they've got a history, and they expect more, just like I do.
In better news, Wisconsin volleyball closed their non-conference slate with a win over 15th-ranked Florida, improving to 7-1 on the season. Mimi Collier, for her efforts, won her second straight Big Ten Player of the Week award. Wisconsin opens Big Ten play at the Fieldhouse on Friday against Rutgers. How about those Brewers? For the third year in a row and the fourth time in the last 5 years, the Crew clinched the NL Central title yesterday. An incredible season that feels a little different than years past. They already have bypassed the wild card round and will host Game 1 of the NLDS on Saturday, October 4th. Plus, a win tonight over the Padres would tie a franchise record. They're looking for their 96th win of the season. It's still not too late to get out here to Jay's Bar. We send it back to you guys and hope to see everybody else here soon.